If you're running ads right now and leads are coming in but you're not closing them, stay with me for a couple minutes because I think I know what might be happening here. You're not necessarily getting bad leads. And I'm sure you've heard every marketing expert say the same things about leads. Follow up faster, call them within 5 minutes, build a nurturing sequence. And you've probably tried some of those things and it's still not working, right? You know that scene on The Wolf of Wall Street, Sell Me This Pen? Two guys pitch the pen's benefit to Jason and Jason shuts them down. And then the third guy comes and says, write your name in that piece of paper. And Jason responds, I don't have a pen.
Write your name down on that napkin for me.
I don't have a pen.
Exactly. Supply and demand.
Exactly. That is the whole point of that scene. You cannot sell anything to someone until you actually understand what that person needs. And that is exactly what is breaking your lead conversion right now. When a cold lead fills out a form, most sales teams do the same. First message, probably a calendar link with a pricing attached or a PDF, like they're driving a Lamborghini and they're trying to filter out who can afford to write it. But that person met you only 6 minutes ago. They clicked on an ad, fill out the form, and they have zero idea who you are. And the first thing you're gonna hand them is your pricing? That is proposing on the first date. Nobody does that in real life. But businesses do it every single day with cold leads. And I'm talking about high ticket services here. That's what I call the proposal on arrival. And this is more important when you're selling high ticket services or product. If the first thing your sales team sends a cold lead is the pricing, that is a problem. Your sales team calls them unqualified and blames the agency or the marketing person. But nobody ever had a conversation with that lead. Nobody ever picked up the phone. And this is why I think there's something a lot of people are taking for granted right now. Think about what actually works in sales, right? Reading the person, upselling, downselling, adjusting your offer based on their needs, finding a version of your service or product that fits them specifically. Because every technique that actually closes deals requires a conversation, a back and forth where you can listen, react, adjust, and make the person feel understood in that situation. But none of that happens on a text thread or an email or an SMS or a WhatsApp. You can't negotiate over text. You cannot feel someone's tone on their email. You cannot downsell them to a package that actually fits their needs because you never heard them describe their problem to you. The tools that actually make sales work, they can only exist in a real conversation. And that's the part that kills me because the data on speed is clear. When you call a lead within 5 minutes of them filling out the form, your chances of having a real conversation with them are dramatically higher than if you call them after 30 minutes or after a day. And the reason is simple. That person was thinking about that problem that you solved the second they fill out the form. And it's still in their mind after 5 minutes. 30 minutes later, life happens. You lost them. They move on. So the goal is not to text them or email them, it's to call them. And when they pick up the phone, the goal is not to pitch them, it's to listen to them. Because the second you're in a real conversation with that lead, you have access to every sales tool in the playbook and you can use it on your favor. You can actually offer something that fits them. You can make them feel like a person rather than a role in your CRM. And I want to say the next part carefully because I really mean it with care, not judgment. If your team cannot commit to calling every single lead within 5 minutes and getting into a real conversation with them, it might be worse to pause your ads right now until you can have that piece in place. Because lead generation in sales is not a passive thing. Every lead that comes in is a real person that saw your ad and says, maybe this is for me, and raised their hand. And the second you treat them like a number, like a checkbox, like a quota you need to fill, like an MQL or an SQL or whatever other acronym you have in your CRM, they can feel that and they ghost you, they disappear. You're not getting bad leads. You have a business that knows how to sell one way, probably referrals, word of mouth, some kind of warmer leads. But now you're asking it to sell a completely different way. And that second way needs a completely different conversation. But now you know, and now you can fix it next week. Go into your CRM right now and look at the last 10 cold leads. How fast did your team contact them? And what was the first thing they sent? If it was longer than 5 minutes and the first thing they sent was the price, you have found your problem. Let me know in the comments what you think about this and how fast your team is contacting every new lead. Be honest and I will tell you what I would change. Thank you for watching and I hope you stick around.